That's plain old common sense. Yes, it is common sense. It's common sense legislation, but it's so typical, so classic, Andrew. You see a problem, you address it, you try to get it changed, you work on it, you pass it, you get support, and you ultimately ask the governor for her signature. And I did, and I was proud to sign that legislation, Andrew's legislation. I said to Andrew when we came in, you know, I made little notes to myself because there's things I didn't want to forget. But after talking about just his role as a legislator and certainly having served with him, I wanted to talk about Andrew the person. So I put this little smiley face on here. And I thought, well, that pretty much sums up Andrew. No, you're not going to say, what, you mean a smiley face? Oh, I could talk about how he fights against higher taxes. I could talk about his time on the bond commission. And trust me, Andrew and I haven't always agreed on issues on the bond agenda. But I can tell you this, he's thoughtful, he's considerate, he always has the interest of the people at heart. When Andrew takes a vote, when Andrew speaks, he speaks about the people that he represents. And I can tell you right now that those people have come out in droves to support him. You saw it in the primary, and you will see it in this election. What we really need in Washington are more people just like Andrew. People who care, people who show up for votes, and yes, Andrew, that wasn't a slight at anyone else, but you only tied my record of never missing a vote in the House. Actually, I missed one in a special session once, so you actually beat me on that case. But people say, why is that important? It's important that you are there so that you can represent your constituents, be there to be their voice in Hartford or in Washington, and be the person that they have elected to sit on your behalf. Andrew will make a great congressman because he is a great person, but more importantly than anything else, he's a good person and a good man. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the next congressman from our district, Andrew Roraback.
Thank you, Governor Rell. Thank you, Mayor Boughton, and everyone here in Danbury who is making us feel so very welcome as we begin the official campaign season. It is now the day after Labor Day, and over the next 9 weeks, I very much look forward to getting to know the people of Danbury and the other 40 communities in the 5th Congressional District very well. Governor Rell, I'd like to offer to give you a ride to Hartford this afternoon and put you back in the governor's office. You have been, each day that passes, Jodi Rell is missed more and more by the people of the state of Connecticut. And the reason she's missed is because the tone of any organization is set at the top. With you as our governor, Governor Rell, you set a tone of being firm but fair, of being decent and honorable, not looking to pick a fight, but looking to find a solution to the very real problems that we faced in Connecticut, be it in education, healthcare, economic development. There's a reason Governor Rell's approval ratings never went below 60%. And there's a reason that Governor Malloy's approval ratings have never been above 50%. And that's because the shrill tone that one-party rule has delivered to the state of Connecticut is not what the people want. One-party rule is a bad thing. And Governor Rell, when she was governor, was the check and balance that this state needed to stay on track. I'm running for Congress because I'm going to be the voice that stands up to the monopoly that one party holds on power in this state. I'm going to be the brakes on a runaway agenda that's led this state, this district, and this country into the economic doldrums that we together are experiencing. With new leadership, with something different, something fresh, the people of Connecticut will have reason to hope that the status quo won't be here forever. thank you, Governor Rell, for recognizing my leadership on issues of importance to women. In fact, I was campaigning the other day and ran into the woman whose efforts have been in the forefront of our nation's policy for women with dense breast tissue. And Governor Rell, I know you from personal experience know the importance of early detection and intervention for women who might be at risk for breast cancer. And the reality is, we in Connecticut have led the way in making sure that women with dense breast tissue are both notified of the additional screenings which they need to prevent against the disease going undetected, and most importantly, to be given access to the tools to ensure that their screening is effective. And when I go to Congress, the first bill I'm going to introduce is a bill to require this country to afford women the very same protections that we in the state of Connecticut are now offering. You shouldn't have to live in the state of Connecticut to know that your health insurance policy will give you those tools. And yes, I am proud of being recognized as one of the 100 male leaders in the fight against domestic violence. That recognition came, as Governor Rell indicated, because of my belief that we can always improve the system that we have to make sure domestic violence never occurs, and to make sure women who are fearful can feel safe by a system which is designed to protect them. So it means a great deal to me for Governor Rell to come out of her comfortable private life, and I wish that she would come back to Hartford and perhaps have a little conversation with the current governor and remind him that you can get things done without being argumentative. You can work across party lines when it's important to find solutions that everyone buys into. And the lesson that I will take to Congress as a member of Congress is the lesson that Governor Rell has offered by her example. She never lost her dignity. She always retained her composure. But most importantly, she always put the people's interest first and foremost. Governor Rell was never a captive to any special interest. Her special interest was the people of Connecticut, and I will always look to her as a role model for what it means to serve the public. So thank you all for being here. I'm sure the governor, it's been a long time since she's taken questions, but it's like riding a bike, I'm sure. So both the governor and I would be pleased to answer any questions you might have. Governor, come on up. I think I neglected to thank all of my colleagues and former colleagues who are here standing by me today. No one wins an election by themselves. My secret weapon are the friends that I've made in the many years I've been serving in Hartford, the people who believe in me because they've watched me work and know that I will serve their communities the same way that they have served their communities, if given the opportunity to represent them in the United States Congress. Susan, I interrupted.
That's all right. Governor Rell, you mentioned that you've known Andrew for a long time and you like him as a person more than anything else. But clearly, I mean, there's some political undertones, and you feel that the fact that this election will be centered around women's issues, and that's one of the reasons why that you feel, or Andrew feels, that you will, your endorsement will help those issues.
I didn't look at it that way, Susan, to be honest with you. I just, one of the things I said, and I think I said it in my comments, when you start to try to paint a person as something other than what they are, and when you try to paint Andrew as someone who is anti-women, I mean, I would tell you that it was laughable, but it was downright mean more than anything else. And I thought, this is just so totally not Andrew. And when I saw him at an event recently, I offered to help, and I said, Andrew, I'd love to, I am going to support you. I didn't do any endorsements until after the primary. But it's just that I think you need to understand who he really is. And if I can help deliver that message as a woman, if that makes a difference, I don't think it does anymore, but if it does, I'm glad to do it.
And so this is your first endorsement of anybody since leaving office?
You're lucky, Andrew.
Yes, but I am lucky, and I didn't Yeah, I'm ready to start a draft Rell movement for 24.
I'm quite happy with my life. Thank you very much.
But that once there was no quid pro quo.
I'm not,
Considering that it is your first endorsement since leaving office,